Hi, my name is Brian Bean, and this is On the Spot with Iru Magazine.
Good evening and welcome.
I've been drawing my whole life,
Right.
and I've always had a desire to tell stories. I started drawing like comic books when I was like 9 years old, and that's like what I was doing like full time. Was like I never paid attention in school or anything. It was always just artwork for me, and then I actually ended up sweeping it under the rug for the longest time, and then I picked up skateboarding because it was super counterculture. I didn't want to be involved in anything anybody else was doing, and I also needed to do something that was cool because like fitting in was like a thing that you had to do, which is pretty counterculture. So skateboarding was like a great way for me to get involved in something that was viewed as cool, but artwork took that to the wayside entirely.
Right.
But little did I know skateboarding actually got me back into art. I put art on the wayside because I was like, that's not cool to do. Cool kids don't make art, but they skateboard. And then I didn't even realize that skateboarding was completely about being creative and was completely based in artwork and all that. Like after my first year of high school, I was like super involved in the art programs. I would cut all my other classes and stay after school for like 2 hours in the art department, drawing, painting, photographing, graphic design, everything that I could get my hands on I was doing. So that's pretty much like where it led me. And then as soon as I got out of high school, I was like, I need to do something with artwork because I was still counterculture, was still believing in that. I was like, I don't want to go to school. I just want to be able to make money off of my artwork and lifestyle and skateboarding and all of that stuff. So I knew I wasn't going to cut it as a pro skateboarder, so I was like, who pays the pro skateboarders? Companies do, brands, so that's what I wanted to be. I actually had no plans to create a clothing brand. I started one in high school simply as a sophomore project, something we had to do to get hours. Mm-hmm. And that's when I first started doing screen printing. Was in high school. I did my first run of t-shirts and I got a lot of people in high school to buy them. And I told them that I was going to donate the money to charity. I never did. I mean, I won't lie. I took all the money to reinvent, keep getting more shirts.
Right.
And I've done charity work with the talent now, so I feel like it's come full circle. But I had to hustle. You know what I mean? To get people to believe in what you do. Like my first clothing brand was called Quote, and I mainly had to tell the teachers I was donating money because like that was the only way to get it approved. But it was just something I wanted to do. And I think, again, half the reason why I fell in love with all this is because it's counterculture. You know, you gotta break the rules to make the rules.
Right.
And when I got out of high school, I remember very distinctly I was working this job I hated in dairy. It was pizza delivery and everything. I despised it. It was the worst job ever. And then this guy, he was wearing a hat that said Elevated on it, and I saw it and I was like, yo, that hat is really cool. Where'd you get it? And then like I'm expecting him to say some store or something, and he goes, oh, my friend makes these. And I was like, your friend makes hats? And he's like, yeah, he owns his own company. And I was like, I just remember on that drive home is when I created the talent. Like, I live on Talent Road in Litchfield. So when I pulled on Talent Road, I was just like, the talent, that sounds cool. Like, I was kind of like making fun of myself, like that's how pathetic you are. You can't even think of a name that like, just take anything at this point.
Right.
Like, we need to do something, so just take anything. So I was like, the talent, that's what I'm gonna name it. And then I just kind of went home and just made the logo, and I just put it on Facebook, and nobody even fucked with it.
What was the peaking side of it where it was like, this is actually working?
I feel like the way I look at like the talent's timeline, there's like all of these like ups and downs and everything, but there's only like key points. Like I remember seeing that guy's hat that started the talent.
Right.
Then I remember ordering my first batch of clothes, which my $1,000. There was that. There were so many ups and downs in between, and then there was like one point where I was going into the first winter of it. Maybe it was the second winter, but there was one point in winter where I was making stickers in my bedroom, like out of my printer, the same one I use today. I was printing off sticker paper that I bought online. I would just make stickers, and I still know people with those stickers, and I think that's crazy that they even held up that long. And I would laminate them with a ruler on my desk in my room, and I would sell them to people for like $2 because like I had to make my money off of it. because nobody would buy the clothing. People would only buy stickers because that's not a huge investment.
Right.
If somebody with $2 in your pocket, they'll give it to you.
Telling somebody.
And if you could make a new sticker every single night, you can make a business off that.
Right.
Like, at least enough to buy cigarettes and coffee, which is
Right.
how I was existing at the time. And so I was doing that, and I would sell them to people hand to hand, and then I finally got my first store, which was Classy Glass. I made his logo and his sign and everything. I hand painted it, and it was just because like if he watches this, I don't really care. But the thing was, like, I was like, I will do anything for you to sell my clothing. I will do anything, because it just meant the world to me to even just say that my clothing was sold in a store.
Right.
And he finally said yes, and I started selling my clothing in there and my stickers, and it was in there for like 3 months, and I didn't make a single sale. I remember I was driving to go get a coffee in the morning. It was just one of those bleak winter's morning, and I was just like, I don't think I want to do this anymore, because I'm just getting pushed up against the wall with this. Like, I'm sinking all my money into this. I don't even remember who it was, and I feel really bad about this, but I got a notification on my Instagram back when Instagram was like orange. Remember when it had like the orange notifications?
Oh my god.
I got a notification that I got tagged, and I look at it, and some kid went to Classy Glass that I've never met before, didn't follow me or anything, and he bought like 30 of my stickers and like a hat. And but when I got that notification, I was like, I have to keep going with this. I don't have a choice now.
Somebody actually
Yeah.
is responding.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes that's all it takes. It wasn't like a significant amount of money. I wasn't caring about the money. It was just the fact that somebody went that hard for my vision.
Right.
Because everything I put out at the time was just something that I really liked and really believed in. It told my story, so if somebody bought that many of something that had so much to do with me,
Right.
it felt so personal.
Right. This girl named Emma, she's like, oh, I have a friend named Davon, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay, I'll hit him up. He was having this day-by-day event, and I was like, all right, I'm going to pull up and see what's up. And that's the first time that I was ever exposed to the talent, because you made the shirt that said I had fun at day-by-day or something. Or my,
Oh, yeah,
my
the
heart
music
was,
touched me.
Yeah, music touched me.
Oh, really? That was the first time?
That was my first time ever being, that was my first time being exposed to the scene of Mike Wing, Tim Nine.
What a way to come in.
I know, no.
Because like my Jackass shirt, like, I mean, it was hilarious, but it was like, I just totally like stumped it on Davon's event. I'd pull up with like no sleep, like probably hungover or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, I just made these shirts. And Davon's like, the backstory to that was I actually, like 2 nights prior, you can ask Davon about this, it's hilarious. I drove over to his house like 2 nights prior because I had the idea. But I didn't tell him about it. I was like, hey, Davon, could you come outside? And he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, dude, can you just like make like an orgasm face? And he goes, what? And I'm like, I just need a photo of you for something. I'm working on something. And he goes, I don't know how I feel about this. And I was like, dude, I don't blame you, but can you please? So I got him to do it.
To make that face.
It's funny because like that's the second time I've been able to do that, because I did the same thing with Mike Wing. Because I pretty much asked Mike the exact same question. I was like, Mike, can you just like open up your mouth and like look up into the sky? And he was like, why? Because I didn't tell Mike about his album cover. Like
Right.
he knew I was working on one.
Right.
But he was looking at like 4 different artists to make this.
Yeah.
I told Mike, I was like, yo, I'm down to make the chips and salsa one. I want to take a crack at it. You're more than happy to turn it down. But the thing is that I need complete creative control on this.
Right.
I was like, send me all the music, let me listen to it, and let me just create. It was funny because like I showed him it, and it was like a super an intimate moment. Like he comes over and he's like rolling with a crew of people or whatever, and my friends were over there, and I was like, yo, Mike, you want to see the album cover? Nobody had seen it yet before. And he was like, he's like, yeah, dude, of course I do. And I was like, okay, everybody's got to stay in the other room. Nobody's allowed to come in here. Just me and Mike. And everybody's like, why? Like, I want to see it. Like, you can literally see it in like 5 minutes. Like, I just want me and Mike to enjoy it together.
Right.
Because I took him out of the operation before.
Right.
Like I said, I'm like, you can't sit side by side with me. I want to work on this alone. Now I want it to be just me and him in the reviewing of it.
Right.
And so I literally I opened it up, showed it to him, and he was just like, it wasn't even like a super exasperated response. It was just kind of like, that's it, man. That's it. And I was just like, yes, got it.
Work.
So the question is, how do we choose, like, how are we in a position to inspire people?
Yeah, like, What would you say in your process is something that you think that somebody
I'd say
could
just
use?
learn to shut the fuck up and stop talking to yourself in your own head, because everything that you want to do, you're the only person that talks yourself out of it. And I think the best way to inspire people around you is the best way to be inspired yourself is literally just look at the world, think of an idea, start doing it.
Right.
And if you believe in it, then you're gonna do it. You will. If you don't, and somebody can knock you down time and time again, you know what I mean, with little tiny things, like basically when I started the town, the same kind of thing. Little things would just knock me down. Now you can't knock me down anymore. I could never sell anything again, and I've still continued to do this. I don't care.
Right.
You know, I built myself off of this now, and that's where I think inspiration really comes from.
I would definitely say that your art pieces that you put on your clothing, your album designs, and a lot of the other designs that I got an opportunity to see, I feel like it speaks for your group, you know, like for Mike, for, you know, Davon. Like, I can see them and I can associate some of the things that they do with some of the things that I see you create. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about, like, being able to inspire the people that create things in a different manner?
I don't know, because I've never really looked at it that way before. Obviously, I look at my friends exactly how you just stated. Like, they feel like Team Talent just as much as I feel like we're all Team Mike Wing, just like we're all Team Davon. You know what I mean? Like, everything that we do, even if we're mad at each other or anything, we're still out there supporting. Like, we push through everything that we go through to support one another. I don't think any of us are building it. I think that we just all are the same. Like, we all exist in that exact same way, and we're just. I think we're all in this. We're all experiencing the same amount of pain.
Right.
I think that's what it is.
We're
We're all like, man, life sucks. Like, let's make artwork. Like, we all love life, but, like, you know what I mean? Life sucks. Like, there's so many shitty aspects of it, and, like, when we hear nasty things, or we're feeling, I know me and Davon relate on so many levels that, like, when we're feeling shitty about ourselves or relationships or whatever, we turn to artwork. It's the only thing that we can explain.
Right.
Me and Davon can explain it to one another, but, like, I feel like we can't explain it to other people.
Right.
So the only way to do it is just kind of like just tear your hair out through artwork.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which I think is the basis for all crews of people that kind of fall under one uniform brand or identification through any kind of artistic creation, is like birds of a feather flock together. You know what I mean? We're all doing the same kind of creation. We're all tapping into, like, really emotional things, I feel like. Even if Mike's, you know, bumping around the chips and salsa, there's a lot of really deeper stuff on that I understand about Mike on a friendship level, that sometimes I think, like, do people that not know Mike well enough to understand what he's saying here? Because, like, I know Mike really well, but do other people get it? But then I realize that I'm like, they don't need to, because they're just enjoying the artwork that comes from all of the stuff that he experienced.
I feel like the main reason why that stood out so much to me is because obviously when I first came out, I was doing research. I was, you know, studying a specific type of artist. When I did bump into you guys, and I'm like, I brought Sanaya, we thought it was going to be just another performance, get it going. I'm like, look at this little community of artists. Like, just you had the t-shirts, you had the rappers, you had the singers, there was just, like, so many different avenues between all of you that you guys are actually creating a community.
I think you really hit the nail on the head. Is, like, I think what we all realize is that, I'm trying to think of, like, an animal that needs to survive together. We'll pick dolphins or something, right? If you got a bunch of dolphins living in a harbor together, right? They're all there, surrounded by, I don't know, a bunch of sharks, I guess, or whatever, right? It would be really dumb for those dolphins not to all stick together.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's how artists are here. Like, we have no choice but to stay together. Like, we're all fighting the same fight, which creates this, like, really thriving community.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when we have an event, we're all out there. We're all purchasing clothing, albums, going to shows, learning the lyrics, like, screaming them at our top of our lungs at shows and stuff. Like, That's what you have to do to be part of this community because it comes full circle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, I think like the best way to explain it is like if there's an event or something, anything that's going on locally and you miss it, no one hates you for it, but you feel the worst because
Right.
you didn't get to go.
Right.
And what better community is that? When you don't get to be part of it because you have to work or something like that, that is the worst feeling. Not
Right.
people going, why didn't you show up? That's what friends do.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's none of that. It's literally be there if you want to be there. We won't hold it against you if you're not, but everybody feels like they have to, and that is community.
Right.
That's why we do well here.